All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, December 16th. We have a 6-game NBA slate to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, I'm going to dive into each and every one of these games. I'll give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment. You'll be taken to our final plays absolutely free over on the Guy Boston Sports site. All that in the pinned comment if it does interest you. In terms of yesterday, now things get better and better and better here, okay? Yesterday we go 3-0. Let's pump some damn crowd noise. Let's drop the cha-ching. We had the Knicks 2 different ways, and then Devin Booker over 2.5 3-pointers made. He cashed that early, right? Now, I say things get better and better because I know we're talking basketball here. I know we're talking basketball. But holy crap. NFL Sunday yesterday. A 9-0 day. Hello, Money Gun, my old friend. Let's go. A 12-0 day yesterday for your boy between the NBA and the NFL. One more cha-ching. What are we doing here? 9-0 in the NFL, 3-0 in the NBA? Hey, it takes a little bit of luck, but you know what? We're taking a lot of credit for that skill as well. That was absolutely absurd. Let's go. Now, I said it gets better and better and better. What's the third better? We're back here on the main Guy Boston Sports channel. All of that, all those obstacles and the BS one hopefully is in the past. But yeah, we're back here on the main channel. The more Guy Boston Sports channel, the second channel, that'll still exist. And we're going to post some fun content over there and whatnot. But yeah, hopefully all systems go on the channel that we grinded for years and years to get to 100,000 subscribers. So speaking of that, guys, yeah, very good money. The vibes are absolutely high. We know that sometimes when the vibes are so high, we're jinxing ourselves and we're due for a bad day, but I don't see it, all right? I don't see it. I think we're going to have a good day today. But guys, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Again, back on the main channel. Super, super excited about it. Let's go ahead and dive into this slate. All right, we're starting things off with Charlotte taking on Philadelphia. Right now, Charlotte getting 3 points at home. That total down there, 216.5. These two teams have played twice this season. One went to overtime. It was still a low-scoring game, 107-105 win for Philly. And then back earlier this month, Philly played them 110-104 in a victory for Philly as well. There's a bunch of injuries to note in this one, and very important injuries. Trey Mann out for Charlotte, and then you look at their biggest piece, LaMelo Ball, listed as a game-time decision. He's missed like 7 or 8 straight games, so that would obviously be a massive add. Even if he does play, it's probably going to be somewhat of a minutes restriction. I mean, he missed a million games, right? So we'll keep an eye on that. I think that that's actually crucial in terms of if you're touching this game whatsoever, even if you're talking other player props or side or total, that type of thing. And then on the Philadelphia side of things, a bunch of injuries here. McCain out, Martin out, Embiid out. So a lot of their main players here are listed as out. If LaMelo plays, I don't really mind Charlotte plus the 3 points. We've seen 2 low-scoring competitive games between these two, one of which went to overtime. That was the game that was in Philadelphia. So Charlotte on their home floor. Yeah, last time they lost by 6, but still a competitive game. This isn't exactly a world-beating team of Philadelphia on the road. They're 4-7 this year on the road compared to Charlotte's 5-9 at home. And Charlotte's covered in 57% of games at home. So yeah, if LaMelo plays, and if we hear that he's going to play, not a normal amount of minutes, but a decent amount of minutes, I don't mind Charlotte. Again, I don't know if I want to touch this one until we have all of the finalities of the injuries and whatnot. In terms of a total, again, 2 low-scoring games between them, 107-105, 110-104. One of those went to overtime. What's due to change? I don't really know if much, so I'm going to lean towards the under. I will say, when you have 2 super low-scoring games like that, I feel like the third's always just happens to go over type of thing, so I don't know if I touch the over, but I would lean there. In terms of a player prop, we don't have lines out yet. How many times can I say injury in one game breakdown? We're waiting for injuries here, but Philadelphia, not all that bad at covering the perimeter, which is where Charlotte likes to shoot from. Where they've struggled, to some degree, they've actually gotten a lot better as of late, but now Embiid's out, right? Where they've struggled this season is defending the paint. In who on the Charlotte Hornets likes to take it to the paint? Miles Bridges in the paint in the restricted area. So I'm looking for a line for him. We don't have any line out as of right now. So once he gets line, you might be able to see that in a final play. Keep an eye on the pinned comment. Take you over to the Guy Boston Sports site. We'll add in him if we do like it. But I think that he could have a decent game here against Philadelphia. All right, moving on, we have Detroit taking on Miami. This line is a little fishy to me, okay? I'll start with that. I mean, no Tobias Harris for Detroit. I think that's worth noting. No major injuries on the Miami side of things. Their starting lineup, Hero, Robinson, Butler, Highsmith, Adebayo. Detroit is a decent team at preventing points in the paint. 7th fewest this season. Miami loves to take it to the rim. So that might be why this line is as close as it is. But to me, Detroit, I mean, compared to these two teams, Detroit's playing meh basketball, what you expect from them, right? Miami's playing some of their best basketball all year. They're coming off of 4 straight wins, one of those wins being Cleveland. Yes, they're on the road here, and they've been a little bit different of a team on the road, but Detroit's been a better road team than home team. So Detroit's at home here. That technically hasn't been their best floor this year. I don't know, like, is it because last time they played, Detroit won this one? It was an overtime, 123-121. I don't think Jimmy Butler played in that one. That was before they started to get this new rotation with Duncan Robinson starting and everything. So, yeah, a lot's different in this. I think Tobias Harris had almost 20 points in that one, too. So, give me Miami minus the 4.5. Definitely strong chance of being a final play. I just see Miami being the better team. I mean, yes, they're going to have to shoot well from the perimeter, which they don't do a ton of, but they do actually shoot a lot from the corners, which could be good. But they've actually been scoring from 3 this year. They're not doing it at a high frequency, but their percentage has been really good. So, yeah, to me, it's an interesting spot for Miami to only have to win by 5 here. And even what we did with the Knicks yesterday, right? 4.5 point spread. We like that one. Maybe we pay a little bit more juice and get that down to like 2.5, so that we have a little bit of a safety net. If they win by 5, we cash both. But if they only win by 3, we win one, lose the other, kind of, helps us out with a safety net a little bit. I don't know. I just think Miami is the better defensive team. The better offensive team. I know Detroit can kind of compete and whatnot. They have some good pieces, but Tobias Harris being out is obviously a decent enough deal to me. So, yeah, give me Miami minus the 5.5 points or 4.5 points, excuse me. In terms of what we're looking at from a total, now both these teams, one, Detroit's on a very efficient offense. Then Miami, who's not even that much of a not efficient offense, but they play really, really slow. It's going to be tough, but like I said, I think Miami has some success from deep here. So I lean over, and I honestly might take a peek at Miami team total over. Yeah, that sounds kind of crazy because they've had their ups and downs, but right now, looking at Miami, you can go out there and get an over 109.5. They've cashed that in 7 of their last 10 games and in 4 straight. If they light it up from 3, I do think Miami could have a decent night here. You look at how Detroit's done against their opponents as of late. 123 against Boston. Okay, we can give them a little break there. New York was 111. Then they played Boston 130. Milwaukee 128. Philadelphia 106. Philadelphia 111. Indiana 106, and then Memphis 131. They had Orlando score 111 on them. Charlotte scored 123 on them. So there's a lot of low-scoring teams that are also dropping buckets on Detroit. So that might be a move to look at. Player prop wise, not minding the idea of targeting some of these guys like Tyler Hero. Last time he played Detroit, which was in mid-November, he had 10 threes, not 10 attempts. He made 10. So I do think, again, Miami's going to target the perimeter here. He had 10 threes freaking last time. He went 10 of like 17. It was ridiculous. I also don't mind Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson now obviously getting the minutes in the starting lineup. Last time he played them, he only took, he made 2 threes. Last time he played them, he took 10 as well. Sorry. So he's been taking in his last games against Detroit. These are including some starter minutes from years past. Obviously, he's had some minute fluctuation, right? He's averaging 9.2 attempts against. So Duncan Robinson shoots 30% from 3 in this game, and he cashes his for plus 150, ladies and gentlemen. So both those guys, I don't mind. Maybe a sprinkle on Robinson because of the odds. But Tyler Hero to go out there and get us his threes, obviously we're asking for a lot with 4, especially for juiced odds, but he shot 10 last game. 10, you know what I mean? All right, guys, I know we are talking basketball here. Actually, we already talked a little bit of football, right? But I do want to talk to you about the free square over on Sleeper Picks tonight. Sam Darnold, Monday Night Football. There's 2 Monday Night Football games. We have a video for each here on the channel, but Sammy Darnold here, 0.5 passing yards. And that's not even the best deal you're getting on Sleeper right now. Yes, it's great to get a free square, but they have a brand new Play 5, Get 55 deal going on for new customers right now. All you have to do, sign up, deposit, and then play a $5 lineup. I believe there's a deposit minimum maybe of 25 or 10, something like that. It's in the fine print there. Play 5, an entry for $5. You get $55 in bonus bets there. And I believe what's really cool about it is you get 11 $5 free bets on Sleeper. Like, that is what is really cool to me. It's not just 55 and it's all right, do what you want with the 55. It's like, no, you got 11 chances to make some bread. So go ahead and check out Sleeper, guys. That link will be down in the pinned comment as well as the description. It's a DFS app in which you take their set projections and you pick higher or lower based on those projections. You put them into an entry together, and the more you win, the more you get paid out on these players. So it's really, really cool, guys. If you know player props really well, go check out Sleeper Picks. That link will be down below. Let's go ahead and jump back into this slate here in these games. All right, this line has gone back and forth and back and forth. Right now, Toronto 1.5 point dogs. That total's also moving around, but I've seen this thing move around. Toronto's been favored, then they're underdogs, so this is essentially a pick 'em depending on where you get it. Right now, Toronto not playing the best basketball, 3-7 in their last 10. Chicago 5-5, but Toronto is a completely different team at home. Now, are they a world-beating team at home? No, they're 6-7 at home this season. From a cover perspective, though, 77%, which is impressive as all hell. But on the road, this is why the home record looks so good. On the road this year, they're 1-12. So don't go trying to take Toronto if they're in the United States, okay? Chicago on the road, though, is 7-6. They've been okay there. They've actually been better on the road, so maybe both situations fit the team here. What I will say is both these teams are going to elect to take it to the hoop, okay? Toronto, second in the last 10 games, second highest frequency in terms of restricted area field goal attempts. Chicago, top 10 as well. I will throw in the fact that Chicago is also shooting a lot of threes. They're just shooting a lot of shots, right? They're playing at the second highest pace over the last 10 games. They're a super, super fast-paced team. Chicago is terrible at defending the hoop. 30th, so dead last in terms of points in the paint allowed per game so far this season. I think Toronto can hang in this game and potentially win it. They are at home. Yes, I wish I was getting maybe, 2.5, something like that, like some better odds that, isn't just essentially a pick. I mean, 1.5 right now seems pretty good, but I don't even know if we'll have time to get the 1.5. I feel like it's going to swing back. I do like Toronto in this spot. For a couple reasons, though. Vucevic listed as questionable. Zach LaVine listed as questionable. Lonzo Ball listed as questionable. That's all great, right? We still have no Bruce Brown, no Emmanuel Quickley, and then Scotty Barnes obviously still out for Toronto. So I guess the injury war is pretty even. But again, that points in the paint thing is going to be massive for Toronto trying to get down in there and score. So I like them in this spot. The one thing that concerns me is, okay, well, what if Chicago says, let's just dominate from 3? They can pull away. So if you are on Chicago, this thing's a close spread for a reason. I'm not trying to talk you off Chicago. I just envision this one being a points in the paint battle, which also leads me to taking an under. So if you like Chicago and their threes today, it's probably an over game for you, right? I'm going with Toronto and the under. Toronto at home here as well. Just kind of like the spot for them. Overall, they're playing at a fast pace too. So again, if you think the opposite of everything I'm saying here, it's a viable take. Don't act like what I'm saying is gospel here. In terms of player props, this is another spot where I'd probably take a peek at RJ Barrett, just given the fact that he does like to get into the paint. And one thing that I will say is Chicago, not all that tremendous at defending the corner 3. So if Toronto gets in there, he'll be able to kick it out for some of these threes and get some assists. So I might look at RJ Barrett on his points and assist line. Right now, that updated line, let me pull that up for you guys. We've been targeting RJ Barrett all year long. Unders, overs. We have a good, weird beat, I guess, on RJ Barrett. But his points plus assists here, all right, updated line for him, it's going to be 32.5. It's definitely super, super high. Last time he played Chicago was last year. He had 17-6. So no Barnes, no Quickly. Obviously, it's going to be super high. But I do like the matchup. But that line, I'm glad we looked at it, right? I think it's opened up at 31.5, maybe even 30.5. So it may have outpriced us by now. But he is the guy that I would look at here in this spot, honestly. And if Vucevic plays, this is a spot in which I don't mind Vucevic and hitting some threes. So if you want to look at his threes over, this is a Toronto team that does not cover the perimeter against the center very well. Last 7 games here, allowing the second most threes to opposing centers. Vucevic will shoot those. All right, Brooklyn taking on Cleveland here. Brooklyn at home, getting double digits here. They got 10.5 points in their back pocket. That total at 218. This one's a tough one, obviously, right? It's a big spread, but you do have such a talent discrepancy in these two teams. You have the 22-4 Cleveland Cavs taking on a Brooklyn team that's below 500. They're 10-15. Now, Brooklyn was a very good and still are and is a very good against the spread team, right? But they're so injured. I mean, and when I say so injured, Cam Thomas being out is a massive, hit to them. Obviously, they've had Bogdanovic out for a while as well. This is just a healthy Cavs team, and I've said it since the beginning of the year. When this team is healthy, they are an absolute threat. Now, Evan Mobley's listed as probable. If he doesn't get the go, I probably don't touch this. If he does, there's honestly a part of me that's thinking, 10.5 points, that's not enough. So I will lean towards Cleveland. I think that I would go Cleveland team total over before anything, just because at that point, go out there and score a bunch of points against this defense. Right? You don't have to worry about covering by 10 points. If you say, okay, go score, let's see what their line is right now. You can get them at over 112.5. You know what I mean? Go score 113 points. I couldn't care less if the Brooklyn Nets score 110 because you got your 113. So that might be the better way, in my opinion, on how you play this. I also don't mind the over overall. This Brooklyn team, as weird as it is to say, has been pretty damn good at shooting the ball from 3. 4th most points from 3 so far this season. In the last 10 games, they're shooting the ball from deep the 11th most amount of times. And that's how you attack this Cleveland team. You don't take it into the paint against them. Good. Brooklyn hates scoring in the paint, right? So it kind of fits into the offense of Brooklyn. I don't mind an over 218.5. I will throw in the fact that, yes, Cleveland, those numbers say that they can't cover the perimeter and yada, yada, yada. They're still just a very good defensive team. So at any game, any moment, they could shut down a team. So still, I would prefer Cleveland team total over, right? Last time they played, this was a lowish scoring game, right? We had a 105 to 100 game. So sure, if you want to take that and run with it, then fine. But that was a game in which I think we saw some lackluster performance. We only had the 3 scorers of Cleveland really do anything. It was Garland, Mitchell, and Mobley, and none of them actually went off. But then in the starting lineup, Jared Allen, 4 points, Okoro, 3 points. We saw Merrill have 6 points, Ty Jerome, 4 points. I think Karis LeVert had 10. Like it was just a low-scoring game overall. Brooklyn's guys, all their starters got to double digits. Like they played well. Cam Thomas had 22. So like they competed in that game, but things were a lot different. Cleveland guys didn't show up, and Brooklyn guys did. So that's why I don't mind Cleveland minus the 10 points. But again, I've said it a million times, right? Give me their team total over. Go score 113 in cash for us. That's how I'd view it. Player prop wise, I'm not loving anything. You could probably target some of these perimeter shooters for the Nets. Cam Johnson might be a look, but like I don't even, because he's going to get some looks, just driving kick looks too. I don't think that I touch many player props in this one. There is still blowout potential. Let's remember that. All right, guys, before we get into this game, if you made it this far into the video, go ahead and comment 16. Really appreciate you being here. Like I said, if you're not aware, we've been operating on a second channel mostly for the last 6 to 7 weeks. Now we're hoping to take everything back over. We're taking our talents back over to the main channel. We've received word that, yeah, we weren't in the wrong or anything like that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Just some platform drama and all that. But very, very excited that, we were kind of vindicated and we fought really hard, and it was a long process, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, our hands are clean, we're good. Like I knew that from the beginning. I knew we hadn't done it. We're good. So I'm so excited to be back here on the main channel. I started Guy Boston Sports over 8 years ago. Over 8 years ago, we hit 100,000 subscribers. I mean, we had the YouTube channel, I think, for like 6 years because it was a blog before that and whatnot. But to get this channel back at 100,000 plus subscribers means the world. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you made it this far. Definitely comment 16. This loudmouth is ranting again, so we're past the 16-minute mark, I'm sure. But let's go ahead and dive into this next game. I do appreciate and love you guys sincerely. And if you comment 16, that tells me that you did just hear this rant. So you know that, or I know that you heard that. So thank you guys so much. All right, let's dive into this one. We got Sacramento taking on Denver. We jump to the injury report in this one. Jamal Murray and Brown listed as game time decisions. Kevin Huerter listed as a game time decision for Sacramento. Now the Kings, if you aren't aware, we still have the Kings on the potential revival for us to take them is still next year. They've burned us so many times, but I'll be unbiased when we go through this. They are in the graveyard right now. Clint Capella and Brook Lopez looking like they're suited to come back. But by the way, when I put the hand there, I guess I should have one for Brook because that date is passed as well, 12/12. That hand means, all right, now we're on the watch. You're not out of the grave yet. You can't dig yourself up, right? All I have to do is see some good play from Clint Capella, and then he can get removed there. We dig him up. We give him the juice to come back to life, and he could be a viable play. It's just some fun stuff. I know the comments are like, that shouldn't impact your betting. It's like, all right, well, I'm sure you're fun at parties. But anyways, let's dive into this one. So we're not going to bet the Kings no matter what, but we might lean the Kings, which I'm not if we have, Jamal Murray playing. I'm not sure if he's going to be playing, but this seems like a very good Denver spot to me. Obviously, they are on the road. That's a factor, and they are underdogs for a reason, but this team has won 2 straight games, one of those being a good win against the Clippers. They beat Atlanta on the road. That was, I want to say, a week ago or so, which Atlanta's playing some really good basketball now, and I'm not going to give too much credit to the Sacramento team for turning things around and whatnot, right? They beat San Antonio. They've won 3 games in a row, so sure, but they beat San Antonio, Utah, and New Orleans. Like, those aren't these amazing, here are your flowers type wins, so I like Denver in this spot, especially getting the points. Now, if Jamal Murray doesn't play, I probably don't like them as much or anything like that, right? And I do think that, Denver liking to score at the rim and whatnot, Sacramento covers that well. So yes, there is some viable reasoning and rationale as to why Sacramento's favored in this one, but to me, Denver is just the better team, and they're just waiting to get better and better and better. Sacramento has not been a good home team this year. They've covered just 33% of their games at home. Denver all the way, but I do need Jamal Murray to play. I'm not trying to take a depleted Denver team and come in there and say, hey, go beat Sacramento, right? Like that, if Jamal Murray doesn't play, I'd probably even flip to Sacramento. They're in the DMB graveyard, so I'm not taking them myself, but I would say I probably end up flipping because, yes, they've won 3 straight games. Yes, they're against bad teams, but still, this is a team that plays really good defense inside, that matches up against Denver. I understand it, you know what I mean? So I do think that Jamal Murray is going to be crucial in this one. Now, we have a total at 237. That is a high number, but this has not been a very good Nuggets defense this year. And in Sacramento, their offense is starting to come around, right? I mean, yes, they've had some light competition, but that total is super high for a reason, and I think I'm going to ride it. I'm going to go and lean towards an over here in this spot. You have the 5th highest efficient offense in terms of Denver this year, and then Sacramento is the 7th. The last 3 games for Sacramento, number 1. How many times can I say I don't know if I buy into the opponents they played, but still, that total is super, super high. This is not a slow-paced Denver team like it has been in years past. Give me the over 237. Player props, I'd probably consider like Jokic unders and whatnot, which is obviously absolutely sound the cycle or alarm crazy, but they are very good at preventing points in the paint. Obviously, he's going to shoot a lot of points in the paint, so that's where I'd go, but come on, are we really going to touch that? Like, it's already crazy enough that we're maybe taking an underdog in this spot. We don't need to go and fade their best player while we're riding the underdog. That seems a little crazy. All right, Clippers taking on Utah. I do have a few. This could get confusing because I'll just jump right into it, I guess. I think Utah could somewhat, some way, somehow, some shape, whatever, keep this game close. Yes, that could be crazy. I don't know if I'm rolling with Utah yet, so let's hold off on the psycho alert alarm from the from the soundboard here. We have seen these two teams play. The Clippers beat them. They were at home that game too, 116-105. Utah's not playing very good basketball. Clippers are playing mediocre basketball. So I'll tell you why. This is both of these teams like to score in the paint, and honestly, they've been decent this year at preventing points in the paint. So if that's the go-to move for both these squads, then yeah, I guess like Utah could keep this close. Now, I don't think I lean towards Utah, all right? Like again, if I had to take a spread pick, then maybe I do +8. I think that I look at Clippers team total over anything else. That way, kind of like we said with Cleveland and whatnot, if the Clippers go out there and just get theirs, we don't have to worry about any margin of victory or any separation or anything like that. This is a really, really bad Utah defense overall. So yes, they've actually been okay at points in the paint, but that's about as far as you'll go, right? If the Clippers can go out there and score 115 on them, I really don't mind that spot. Last time they played, they scored 116. The Clippers not playing at a crazy fast pace, but this Utah team stinks out loud at defending the perimeter. And if the Clippers get hot from 3, Norm Powell, James Harden, I think that they could put up 115. So again, I don't really like the Clippers minus the 8 points. I think that they could have somewhat of a struggle separating themselves. Would it surprise me if they win this game by 40 points? Hell no, they're the way better team. But that point in the paint thing is sticking in my brain, you know what I mean? So Clippers team total or probably nothing on the side in this one. In terms of a total, I'd say that that's a hybrid of both, so I'd lean towards Clippers team total for the total as well. Player prop wise, I already mentioned it. James Harden, Norm Powell. Now their lines are both plus money for over 3.5. I don't love that number. I could go same game parlay for them, maybe 2+ each, that type of thing, and kind of finagle and massage the numbers so that we can get both of them. They have to hit, but yeah, we're getting some justifiable odds in terms of a same game parlay. So keep an eye on the final plays over on the Guy Boston site. That could definitely be the way that we kind of, like I said, finagle this one and say, hey, they're going to be successful from 3. I don't like each of these guys individual to hit 4 threes, right? Or I think James Harden's 3.5 for plus 140. Norm Powell's plus 115. They should have the attempts, but that's still asking for a lot. But if we can bring them both back down to earth and say, okay, go out there and make 2 threes each, or one of you make 3, one make 2. I think that could be the move. So keep an eye on the final plays there, guys. That's going to wrap it up for today's show. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We did not have a ride of the day yesterday with all the football madness and everything. So yeah, if you made it this far into the video, you're getting a little bit special shout out here because we didn't talk about it earlier. Use that hashtag ride of the day down in the comments. We'll jump on board with one person's play. I'll give you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. If you win, we continue to ride with your plays. I also posted over on my Twitter/X, which has been popping up here throughout the show. In fact, great timing. There it is. We also posted over on the Guy Boston Sports site with the final plays, GuyBostonSports.com. But guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.